morning, folks. Now, last night I was listening to the radio, and now when I'm not listening to pirate radio stations or listen to music on my phone, I like to tune into phone-in radio programs. Maybe it's an old man thing or something, but I find it mentally stimulating and quite enlightening. I like to hear different people's points of view, and plus, because I spend a long time in my van, I've got no one to speak to, or talk to, so it keeps me sane. Anyway, there was an expert on last night talking about the spread of COVID-19. I don't know what expert he was, but he was talking about the danger zones where the virus spreads more than other places. And he said his biggest concern is indoors. Indoors is his biggest concern, close proximity and a lack of ventilation, right? This was the words of the expert. The host of the phone-in program said, "Oh, so would you suggest when people leave their front door and come outside for them to put a mask on?" And his response was, "I'm not really worried about outdoors, because outdoors you're relatively safe because of the abundance of ventilation. The danger is indoors. Inside it is where the problem is." The host, for some reason, didn't want to let this go. It seemed like he wants to implement his own zealousness about wearing face mask outdoors. And he tried to slip it in again. And the expert said, "I'm not concerned about outdoors." Now, this was last night. This morning on Nick Ferrari's shows on LBC, Nick Ferrari posed the same question, but this time Nick Ferrari, he was only asking the question. He said, "So would you suggest about outdoors?" And again, another expert said, "Well, you know, the science says indoors is where the problem is. Outdoors, unless you're in a crowded place, outdoors is not the problem. You're quite unlikely to get the virus outdoors. This is what the science says." Now, I'm not having a go at anybody who walks down the road with a face mask. Your prerogative. I'm not going to get on your back for that. But I'm getting on the back of the presenter, the host of the show, because the man already said outdoors is not a problem. But for some reason, the radio host, Ian Dale, sorry to mention your name, but you did say it. You did say Ian Dale on LBC. You were trying to push this narrative for outdoors, wearing a mask outdoors. Now listen, I'm not anti-mask, right? I was more anti at the sort of beginning, but like, you know, I kind of reluctantly yield to it, right? So I'd wear a mask going into the shop. If I'm going to, I do a lot of deliveries at hospitals, so of course I'm going to wear a mask. And I don't like having a hard time. I don't want to give anyone a hard time. I certainly don't like receiving a hard time. So to make my life easier, I'm gonna put the damn thing on, right? But when I'm walking down the road, because the science says if you're indoors, make sure you open the windows to get the ventilation. So if I'm walking outside, where's the best ventilation? Outdoors. So I don't wear a mask when I'm walking out the road. There's no one around me. I've got a fresh air. I'm okay. If you wear a mask outside, that's cool. You know, I'm not going to get on your back. It's your prerogative. If you feel comfortable doing that, then what can I say? You know, live your life. But that's not how I live mine. Okay, so I'm going with the science on this one, right? The science says outside, the danger zone is not on the outside. The danger zone is indoors. So I can't understand why Ian Dale was so zealous to push this outdoors wearing of mask like that. Maybe he gets a hard on. Maybe it gives him. Maybe it makes him come in his pants or something. I don't know. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Where are you on wearing a mask all the time, the minute you leave your house? So not just when you go into a shop or whatever it might be, just walking down the road. Would you advise that, Professor?
The science on masks has changed as the pandemic has evolved. My view remains that the really high-risk environments for transmission are indoor spaces, and the government advice is to wear masks, face coverings in indoor spaces, and I agree with that, and frankly I do that.
All right, we've got time for one more. Helena in Edgware.